normally don't see our next guest in the kitchen because they're out on the streets protecting the citizens of New Haven. But today, we have Detective Sergeant Al Vasquez all the way to the right, Police Officer Diego Quintero, and Lieutenant Luis Casanova, all tapping into their inner chef side to help get the word out about Arte's Hispanic Heritage Celebration. Welcome, everybody.
Thank you.
And later on, we're going to talk about the events along with this Hispanic Heritage. But right now, we want to talk about what you guys are going to be doing. This is a preview, really, to a Latino cooking lesson that you will be offering on October 7th. Tell us more about that, Luis.
Well, in celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month, our friends at Arte, Inc. Always select a Latin country to cook a dish from. This year, we picked a Colombian dish, and our friend Diego Quintero is going to be making carne ranchera. And on that date, they're going to have a demonstration on how to make this meal.
Now, are all three of you, do you all love being in the kitchen?
Absolutely.
Absolutely?
Definitely. I enjoy cooking.
I like eating in the kitchen.
Well, I'm finding more and more men actually love cooking. It's amazing to me. All right, this is a recipe, Diego, that you are cooking today. Is this from your mother's side of the family, father's side of the family, your recipe?
Jocelyn, basically, is a combination that I picked. Obviously, I learned or I love cooking after watching my grandmother and my mother and so on and so forth. So this is a dish that I kind of picked from different places. I was introduced to carne ranchera from a Mexican female that I met while working, actually. And I decided to try that meat and incorporate all the different seasonings that we use in a Latino kitchen.
So this is your version then?
So, yeah, you could say that, but it is basically a typical Latino plate, a Spanish plate.
So what did you do to the carne?
So, prior to the show, we somewhat pre-seasoned the meat a little bit. And what we use is this will be the carne ranchera, which is the flank steak.
Flank steak.
And we season it with a little bit of adobo. Adobo is a mixture powder of garlic, black pepper, and onions.
And you can find this at the grocery store.
Correct. You can find it at your typical Spanish store, even your Stop and Shop supermarket.
Exactly.
But the C-Towns supermarket, Stop and Shops, and ShopRite.
All right, so adobo.
Each little steak will be seasoned with adobo on each side. Then I follow it with black pepper to your taste. And then my favorite, which I think is the one that makes this unique, is the cumin. Not too much cumin, just a little on each side to every steak.
It's it gives it a little more spicy flavor?
It's not spicy. It's hard to describe what cumin tastes like. It just gives it a unique taste to it, but it's not spicy. It's definitely not spicy.
Gives it an aromatic bang.
Aromatic bang. All right, Luis. You don't cook, but you know your spices.
He knows how to eat. He knows how to eat.
He's
a professional eater. Yeah. So basically, that would be the basic way of seasoning.
Okay.
And what we do is we follow to start cooking. We put a little bit of olive oil on the pan, so that once you start throwing the onions and peppers, it doesn't stick. And then I follow up with red peppers and green peppers. And then we put onions all on top of it. It's a mixture. It's simple. It's throwing all at once. And then,
so while you're doing that, why don't we get Al going with what he's doing over there. Now, Al, what are you making?
What I'm making is fried plantains. Here's a fried plantain. Now, typically what you would do is you want a green plantain for this dish. We're making tostones. You would chop off the ends, slice it down the middle. It's a little tricky peeling, but with some patience, you'll get it open. You finally peel open the banana. You segment it into cuts about 1.5 to 2 inches. Put it in your frying pan. So it gets soft, maybe 1 or 2 minutes.
So you put it in the frying pan?
Yes, you do. You don't want it too hot. 300 degrees. You don't want it at like 350. Some people do at 350. That kind of burns the banana too quickly. Then you take it out. You put it in the masher. I have one here. And simply you mash it down.
I love your masher. I don't think I've ever seen one like that.
And so now you end up with this product here. And then you would deep fry it a second time. And this would be the end result.
Now, where did you learn how to cook, Al?
Well, through family. Mother, my father loved to cook, so I picked up a lot of stuff from him.
Oh, good.
Yeah, yeah.
That's great. Can you want to go ahead and fry up some?
Sure,
And then you can show everybody how this all works. All right, so this is the first part of the process.
Yes.
And so you fry it for about a minute, did you say?
Yeah, about a minute or so.
Just to really soften the banana.
That's correct. You don't want to cook it thoroughly. In fact, fried plantains, you want it a little bit raw in the middle when you're eating it, believe it or not. And plantains are very firm banana. It's not your typical banana. It's soft, and so you have some room to play with it. But then once you fry it for that amount of times, like I said, you bring it to the masher, mash it down. You end up with this, and you fry it a second time.
Now, we were talking earlier, in my country, we pick out the really ripe plantains.
Yes.
I mean, it's almost black.
Yes.
And then we fry it. And, well, we coat it with a little flour.
Yes.
And then we fry it and then smother it with sugar. Have you tried that?
No, I have not. But
doesn't that sound good?
It does sound good. It does sound
Which
good.
we will try.
Okay,
Yes.
you're going to try.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so, Diego, where are we now in the process?
So basically, after putting all the peppers and onions on the pan, you put the meat all over it. And what I like to do is, I like to pour a little bit more of the seasonings, the adobo and the pepper, just so that the juice from the onions and the peppers doesn't consume the actual seasoning from the meat. And then what we do is cover it, cover the meat,
Okay.
turn it on.
And you let it to cook for how long?
It cooks basically 15 to 20 minutes, and you turn it over once or twice, and then we end up with the final result, which is something like this. And it's typically served with white rice or yellow rice, and which is typical Spanish.
And the rice you use in there, is that short grain or like long grain?
This is a short grain rice, but you could use either one. It's basically to your liking.
So cook it follow just the directions and cook it. You didn't put anything in there, did you, like any other spices in the rice?
All I do is basically a little pinch of salt.
Oh, you do put
a little
salt.
bit of olive oil so that it doesn't stick to the bottom.
Okay.
And onions. But the onions are removed prior to serving.
You cook the rice with the onions?
That's correct.
Oh, and so it gives it that flavor.
It gives it a little bit of a different flavor to your typical...
And, let's take a look at the cooked version.
The cooked
and
version
it's really
of the
more
meat?
like a stew,
It's basically, it is. Sauté meat is also excellent on the grill. Without any of this stuff. If in the summer you feel like having a little bit of a grill flank steak with tostones, it goes well together.
Okay. Right now we have some information on the screen for your Latino cooking lesson, and it is Thursday, October 7th from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Arte Gallery on Grand Avenue. And it is a free class, and all three of you are going to be there, right?
Correct.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much. We're going to taste this later on, okay? Coming up next, we'll tell you more about Arte's Hispanic Heritage Celebration.